You're not ugly. Your energy is just repelling her. What's going on, boys? It's your boy Max, and I've been having a lot of conversations recently with the guys reaching out to me, asking for advice on their dating life. And when I take a look at their page, these guys are not ugly. They're not unattractive. Some of these guys have really nice photos too. And so I say this to say that their presentation is on point, but they're still struggling with their dating lives. And it's for this one reason that I was able to point out to them, right? That I want to share with you guys. And that's going to be your energy as a man. And I'm not trying to get woo-woo on you guys, but at the end of the day, guys, you could be the most, objectively attractive type of man, right? You have the looks, you could have the height, you could have the physique, you could have the style, you could have the photos, you could have the whole package as far as presentation goes. But that still won't be enough, and you can still repel women even with all of that, right? Because looks get you inside the door. But what actually keeps you inside the room and keeps you building and retaining relationships with these women that you want to have in your life is going to be the way you carry yourself as a man, right? What your energy, what your frequency says about you, right? And the reason why is because I've had guys who are tall, good looking, like all of these things that you may call attractive, reach out to me because they're still struggling with their dating lives. And when I take a look at it, it's like, why is this guy struggling? Oh, it's because even though he has all of these attributes, he's still insecure within himself, or there's a misalignment in his energy somewhere, right? He has some sort of bad habits that are draining his energy. And that's the thing. We live in this modern world, guys, where almost everything is a distraction. Almost everything is trying to drain your energy. It's trying to take your energy. It's trying to kill your energy. Everything around us, right? That's why I'm in this park right now, because this is like the one place when you're out in nature that won't kill your energy as a man, right? But when you're at home, you're watching the news, you're scrolling through TikTok, you're scrolling through Instagram, right? All of these distractions keep coming up, and it's like the world, social media, all of these things, they try to imprint their beliefs and their frequency upon you. And because it doesn't matter how disciplined you are, we're all consumers to a certain extent, right? We all consume some sort of media. We all interact with, society. We are vulnerable to all of these things that are being thrown our way, right? So the news, right? Watching the news, you turn on the news, it's always something negative on the news, guys. Always something negative, right? And that it's like that for a reason, because when the news is negative, people pay more attention. It hits your emotions on a higher level, right? Even when I make these videos sometimes, guys, like if I'm speaking about something that may be deemed as negative, I get more views, right? I get more engagement. That's just how human nature is, how human psychology is wired. But it's something that you need to be very wary of, right? So you got to make sure that whatever you're consuming, because you're going to be consuming regardless, guys, consume as little of the bullshit as possible, right? So other people's opinions, people who you don't necessarily want to be like, right? Stop consuming their opinions. Stop listening to their opinions. Stop spending time with these people, right? Because people will drain your energy, and they will instill their negative type of energy onto you as a man. And that energy is going to come off in the way you interact with the world, in the way you interact with women, right? And when I say watch the people that you're around, this doesn't just have to be your friends or even your family. This could be content that you consume, right? What does your algorithm look like? Show me your algorithm and I'll tell you a lot about who you are as a man, right? What do you consume when you're on the phone, right? When you're watching YouTube, when you turn the TV on. And then number two is going to be the way you actually start your day, right? Because starting your day off with intention is what's actually going to put you in a position to conquer the day, to carry that day with good energy, good vibes, right? And just put out positive energy out into the world. For example, this morning, I woke up with a negative mindset, right? Sometimes, like, this is a flaw of mine personally. Sometimes if I wake up with a negative mindset, I have the tendency to be very pessimistic. It's almost as if someone put on some dark glasses on my face and I just view the world from this negative lens, right? I get easily agitated. I don't want to really be around people. None of these things. And one thing that I've recently been doing throughout my self-development journey is that I'm just more conscious of this. I know when I wake up in that state, and that I know that when I do wake up in that state, I have to make sure I have certain systems, I have certain things in place that I do to raise my state, right? To put me in a higher frequency so that I can actually be in alignment with the version of myself that I am meant to be in, right? So for me personally, today, I just gave out like a handful of compliments, right? Now, mind you, when I say give out compliments, these should be genuine compliments. I don't recommend complimenting somebody just because like you're trying to raise your own stake, right? Just because you're trying to feel better, right? But if you really pay attention, even when you're in a very pessimistic and negative mindset, we have thousands of thoughts every single day. There is something positive that you can see about somebody else that you probably just neglect, right? You probably just like brush it by, right? Whether that's somebody's outfit, whether that's somebody's physique, whether that's, just you like the color of their shirt, like whatever the compliment may be, whatever the positive thing that you notice about somebody else, get into the habit, especially on those negative days, of complimenting other people. Because when you do find that little positivity that you have within yourself and you give it out, I'm telling you guys right now that it will come back to you 10 times fold. It will come back to you 10 times fold. Like, and this morning, when I was in that negative mindset, I was probably not even going to shoot a video today, right? But now, because of the series of things that I did to raise my state, I was able to put myself in a position where I can shoot the video, right? I can be aligned with the version of myself that is creating the content for you guys. And that brings me on to my next point, guys, which is keeping your non-negotiables that you have to yourself, right? Whatever you do, you must have a list of certain non-negotiables that need to get done every single day, right? So for me personally, that's eating like 10 eggs a day, right? That's fasting in the morning. That's going out on a walk and getting at least 10K steps, right? That's checking in with my clients. That's doing some sort of workout. Those are just a few of my personal non-negotiables. That's praying in the morning, right? Very important. That's a big non-negotiable for me, prayer in the morning. But you need to have your own set of non-negotiables as a man. Like, just list out like 5 to 10 things that you need to get done every single day that are going to put you in alignment with that best version of you, right? And keep your word. And this is your creed to yourself. Whatever happens, whatever state you wake up in, whatever happens to you throughout the day, these things need to get done. Okay. So if you said that, every single day I'm going to get a minimum of 10,000 steps, you better make sure that you're hitting those non-negotiables each and every single day. And this is something that I see with a lot of guys who may be attractive, right? Maybe they have good genetics, right? Maybe they have good looks. Maybe they even hit the gym. But outside of the gym, outside of their looks, they don't keep promises they make to themselves. So they still have bad habits. And then the positive things that they're supposed to be doing to elevate other aspects of their life, they're not doing it. And that's where you kill your energy, right? Because where is true confidence actually built, guys? True confidence is built by keeping those promises that I mentioned to yourself. Because the more you can do that, the more you can show up as and make decisions as that version of yourself that you say you are, the more proof you have each and every single day. And when you have stacks and stacks of proof, it just compounds. And that shows off in your interactions with other people and in your interactions with women as well. Because there's nothing worse, guys, to a guy who may be in shape, a guy who's attractive, a guy who, he checks all the boxes presentation-wise, but something is off internally about him. And usually it's because of this. Usually it's because he focuses on his looks as like the main priority, but he neglects doing the inner work, right? And that's why, like, even with the clients that come to me for help with their physique and their dating lives, one of the first things I do is I take a look at, like, okay, what do your daily habits look like? What negative habits do you have? What habits can we keep? And what habits do we need to introduce to actually put you in alignment with that version of yourself that you want to be, right? The version of yourself that's in great shape, the version of yourself that's attracting the woman you want to attract. And so we just go on a step-by-step basis, cutting off those bad habits, introducing new habits, right? And that's how I'm able to get my clients such a great result with their physique and their dating lives, because it all ties back in together. If you don't have the positive habits, you won't be in shape. If you don't have the positive habits, you won't be in a position to have the dating life that you want, whether that's improving your looks or whether that's just knowing how to conduct yourself and be truly comfortable in your skin when you're going out on a date, right? Or even when you're in the bedroom with a woman. All of these things matter, right? Because they're going to come up some sort of way. And if you guys have any questions about what I mentioned whatsoever, just send your questions to my Instagram. I answer all of my DMs and I'll get back to you. But that brings me to my last point, guys, which is just swapping out your bad habits with good habits. So for example, one of my positive habits that I have is going to this park, taking my shirt off, absorbing some sun, getting my steps in, and just realigning my nervous system. Whether sometimes I'm taking client calls, so I'm still doing my business, I'm still doing what I have to do, but I'm also working on myself at the same time, right? So I'm killing like 3 birds with 1 stone. I'm working on the business, I'm getting in better shape because I'm getting my steps in, and I'm working on my inner self as well, because I'm just, I'm in nature, I'm peaceful, right? I'm worried about what's going on outside, right? So that's something that I personally do. Another thing that you could do is starting your day off with some sort of uncomfortable task. So a lot of times we wake up and the first thing we do is drift. First thing we do is check our phone. First thing we do is, turn the TV on, like I mentioned, like watching the news and all of these things that you shouldn't be consuming. But when you do that in the morning, that's when it's the worst, because that sets you up for basically failure throughout your entire day. You wake up, you put yourself into a reactive state, and that reactive energy carries on throughout the entire day. So what I do instead is I have a 4-step morning routine. Just 4 steps, right? I wake up, I make my bed, I drink 32 ounces of sea salt water with electrolytes with lemon. So I have it actually in this right here too. But that's the first thing I do, right? And then I pray, and then I just journal, right? I journal and I do 50 push-ups. 4 steps literally takes me about 20 minutes max. 20 minutes, and then I start my day off with intention, right? I'm not checking my phone. I have the urges, don't get me wrong, like especially like making content, checking on my business, like checking how many book calls I got, all of these things. Like all of these things come up on my mind as soon as I wake up. First thing I do is I think about this business, I think about my clients, I think about, how's the content performing, all of these things. And I have the urge to check my phone, but I gotta make sure that before I do that, I do the little things that actually make a significant difference in my day and in my life. Because when you stack those days, you stack the weeks, you stack the months. And then before you know it, your morning routine literally affected your life for the past 5 years, simply because you started your day off with intention. Now, as far as cutting off bad habits, there are certain things, guys, that you need to just stop fucking doing as a man. Like, it's not even cute anymore. Like, I feel like social media made a lot of bad habits seem normal just because everybody's doing them. But I'm here to tell you, like, it's not normal, right? Just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean it's normal. And even if you think it's normal, is that really what you want to be? Do you just want to be normal? Or do you want to be like the elite man? Do you want to be the 1%? Because you could be like everybody else. You could be out of shape. You could, be completely introverted. You could Not even be able to have the confidence to speak to a woman and look her face to face, which most men can't do, right? Most men, they worry so much about their looks and like the angle of their jawline and all these obsessive things with like looksmaxxing, but they don't focus on the things within themselves that actually affect the way that they interact with women, that are actually the reason why they can't even hold a conversation with a woman in real life. Few bad habits. Number one is going to be smoking or drinking. Smoking and drinking. I used to smoke every single day for like 5 years straight. Every single day, I could not go without it. I could not eat without it. I could not go to sleep without it. I could not even talk to my girlfriend without it. I'm 4 years sober now, almost 5 years. Drinking, doesn't matter if you're going to the club, doesn't matter if it's a family party, doesn't matter even if it's a date. You got to limit the drinking, right? For me, I haven't cut out alcohol completely. I still drink like a glass of wine if I'm going out on a date and if I really choose to. But if you're somebody that doesn't have really control over that and you feel like you need to drink every single time you go out, that's definitely something that you need to cut out. Alcohol will lower your vibration. It will lower your everything as a man, right? It's depressant. It's depressing, guys. It's going to put you in a lower state. You may feel good. That's why you feel so good when you're on it. And then as soon as you come down, then you crash, right? Then you're pessimistic. Then you're low energy. Then you're tired. All of these things. It's because it's cheap dopamine that's going to it's just going to make you feel like you're doing something productive. It's going to make you feel like, oh, you're raising your state, but it's not natural. And because it's not natural, you're going to crash hard, right? So if you implement the positive things that I spoke about in this video, that way you're actually going to be able to raise your dopamine and just raise your state naturally without a crash. And over time, you're just going to notice you're going to feel better and better, higher energy week by week. But if you rely on things like smoking, on drinking, on going out to the clubs, going out to the bars, right? It's not going to work. Another one, doom scrolling, right? I feel like everybody has a doom scrolling addiction nowadays. Me personally, that's something I've actually dealt with recently because, making content, sometimes the inner bitch in me tells me that, oh, I'm just doing content research. And so I would catch myself like scrolling on Reels for like 5-10 minutes, thinking that I'm doing content research, thinking that I'm just checking analytics. But really, I know, like, I'm self-aware enough to know that I'm just fucking around, that I'm just bullshitting, right? And so that's what you got to be. You got to be self-aware, right? Because you're not going to be able to cut off your bad habits in a single day, maybe not even in a week or a month. But as soon as you become aware of you doing these actions, the easier it's going to be to cut them off over time, right? Over time as you implement the positive habits, right? And once again, if you have any questions about how to actually cut out your bad habits and introduce positive habits so that you can raise your state naturally, you can become more magnetic to not just women, guys, but to opportunities, right? To all of the good things that life has to offer, because best believe it has a lot to offer, guys. But if you're constantly in a low state, you're not going to be able to experience that, right? If you're constantly just focused on how good you look, don't get me wrong, like, looks are important. I have a whole 1-hour guide on my channel about looksmaxxing, right? If you guys want to check that out, you can. But I'm here to tell you, like, you can do all the looksmaxxing in the world. If your energy is off, you are going to repel women, right? They are going to get turned off by you. That's why you struggle to convert those dates into second dates or into relationships or even to get the girl home with you, right? It's because, yeah, your looks got you on the date. And then once she really got to know you, and so that something is off about you because of your bad habits, because of your overconsumption, because you're constantly in a reactive state, and that's what actually repels them, right? So if you're a guy that wants to master his habits, get in the best shape of his life, and use the man that you've become through the systems that I have, and use it to elevate your dating life. If that's something that you want to achieve for yourself personally, there's going to be a link in the description that you can book a call with me to work with me one-on-one. This is exactly what I help my clients with. I help them get into the best shape of their life and elevate their dating life by mastering their habits first, right? Because without that, Nothing else will matter. The physique won't even matter. You won't have the perfect pickup line. You won't have the perfect photos. Like, none of that will work unless you master yourself first, right? So once again, if that's something that interests you, you want to get one-on-one access to me, get my systems and my accountability, and be a part of the program, there's going to be a link in the description to book a call with me. But hope you boys found this video valuable, and I'll see you boys real soon. Like, subscribe, stay dangerous.